good as we're gonna be, bud. So how is it? How is it in Montana, bud? I think that he's only had like one coronavirus death. That was probably like 2 weeks ago or something. But you guys are like the
I think we had like 5.
yeah, you guys are like the least hit state. What's the population of Montana? I don't even know. Do you know?
It's like a little over 1 million.
Is that
Is
that really
1.5.
all it is? I'm looking it up
Yeah.
right now. Hold on. So let's see. That is really small. So that makes a little bit more sense. Yeah, you're right. 1.06 million. So basically, million. So that's Northumberland County is like 90,000. So we have like a tenth of the population in our county. That's insane to think about.
There's a lot of space out here too. So like for me to go one place, it's miles. You're driving miles.
Yeah. So where are you? Where are you currently in Montana?
I live in Belgrade, which is I live in Belgrade, Montana, and it's outside of Bozeman, which is like one of the biggest cities. Gallatin County is north of Yellowstone National Park. So there's a lot of tourists we come through. There's a huge international airport here. A lot of celebrities come up to Big Sky, and it's just a lot of money in this area. So I live right outside of there. And
so you guys are like, you're in the rich area, bud? Are you rich?
Yeah, dude. it's the only place you can find work. Like if you're working outside of here, it's rough. It's like hard living, and it's like west of here you get a little more in the mountain, and then this jobs are harder to find. Yeah, you gotta be in the lumber or mining and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I mean, Smitty was my friend. Our mutual friend was telling me before. Is like, there's no Dunkin' Donuts there. There's like it's just like. So how long have you been in Montana now? It's got to be.
It's I've been living here consecutively for 5 years. Yeah. I moved up here 2015.
But you were in Oregon before that, right?
I've been in a lot of places, yes. Yeah. But Oregon was the most recent. Maine. I've been to Maine.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to tell any of those stories, you're more than welcome to. But that's obviously up to you.
That's a long time, but a long time. We'll be here for a while.
Hey, that's fine with me. But so like I said, you're more than welcome to chat about whatever you want. But I just said, what are you doing in like Montana? Like, what's your job?
I'm working landscaping right now down in Big Sky, which is like lots of $1 million mansions. We're up on a huge side of the mountain. There's Lone Peak, which is a big ski resort, and we fix up the houses. When we go and put trees in, do some gardening, put flatbed in, and take away fencing if they have fencing for the animals during the winter and shit. So. Yep. So I keep busy. I mean, this is my first summer doing it, and it's a workout, man. I'm getting sun. You can't tell you, but I'm like red.
Oh no, you look. I can see it, man. It looks like you've been out. Listen, I was just gonna say you're always.
Yeah, you're like a white ant.
That's so funny. Yeah. I mean, I'm the same way. Like, the camera's terrible, but as I go up, I'm completely white too, in the same way. Yeah. But yeah. So, you like the landscape job? Everything going good with that? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nice being outdoors.
Drive some machinery. It's cool.
Yeah. That's awesome. So what's it like out there? So is everybody like? Because here. So if you're in like Philly, I guess I have friends that are in Philly. Like everybody was freaking out and still like freaking out and stuff. And then here, everybody in the beginning, nobody was wearing, like when they first said, "Hey, wear masks," there wasn't a single person. I wore a mask, and then I was like somewhere, and I was like, "I'm gonna take this off because I'm the only one." I was like, "Did nobody else like watch the press conferences? Am I the only one?" And then that's how it was at first. Now it's everybody's wearing a mask. You can't go in anywhere without a mask. Is it like that there?
No, it's actually almost the opposite. Like when this all started, we were one of the first states to actually have the stay-at-home order in place. And normal people in Montana, they like to distance everybody. It's like we don't want space. So if you're going out like fishing, you're not going to go standing next to the person that's like right down the stream. You're going to go down the stream, and. So it's kind of cool that we already have that in place. Anthony.
Hi, Bott.
She's like, who are you talking to?
Just my phone, just talking to a phone,
Yeah.
like whatever.
But yeah, so it's like we already distanced ourselves, and right when it started, everybody was pretty gung ho. And people made masks. I was working in a store doing beer merchandising for a little bit, and I had to wear a mask every day.
How was
And
it?
now that the stores are now that like everything's opening back up, it's all the employees are wearing masks, but people don't really have to. I
Okay.
mean,
So yeah, I would say I don't even know. I would say every business in PA, like you can't go inside anywhere. They have somebody outside with a mask and like an iPad, and they're just like, "All right, you're number 167.
yeah,
Go ahead." And like, make sure you have your mask on, and like that's kind of how it is here. So it's not like that in Montana at all.
not
Yeah.
anymore. Nope.
Oh, but
It got a little scary at first, but now that it's mostly we stopped all the people coming here.
yeah,
Like, you know what I mean? Like there was National Guard at the airport telling people that if they were coming from out of state, they had to quarantine for 14 days. We have a mandatory 14-day quarantine if you come from out of state. So that kind of like told people not to come here, and it kind of worked out.
yeah. It's interesting the whole because now they're coming out with models, and of course it's coming from like liberal places, and Republicans are mad and whatever. I don't get into that because everybody fights about everything, but they're saying that if we started social distancing 1 week before, we would have saved like 40,000 lives or something like that. So it's interesting to see somewhere like Montana where they were basically like, hey, stay the fuck out of our, stay the fuck out of our, stay the fuck out of our, and you guys have, I remember Joe Rogan was talking about it. He's like, can you believe Montana has one coronavirus death? And that was like last week or two. You know what I mean? And it's crazy that,
Yeah, that was beginning of April. We had one. I think we had a couple since then, but it's mostly older folk, pre-existing conditions, and it's like, yeah, I know people that had it. Like we had a couple cases in Gallatin County. We had the most in Gallatin County, and we only had a couple deaths. I think there's only one death in Gallatin County, and then there's been a couple across the state because, healthcare, you're going to find it in rural places. It's not going to be as great. So.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like we have a lot more cases than we were reported because I have friends that were sick. They definitely had it, and they weren't sick enough to go to the hospital. So, you know what I mean? It's just like, why are you going to go expose yourself to like people that might have mutations of COVID or like might just have influenza and like, you know what I mean?
So,
like just to go there.
This is weird, but remember Josh Galeta, our friend Josh Galeta?
Yeah.
Well, he came out here and he was sick in December, and he went to the hospital for pneumonia, like influenza or something. It was unknown influenza, but it was pneumonia-like symptoms, and he got better. But he was like, "Yo, dude, I totally probably had the COVID back in December."
To even piggyback off that, I have the same story. Me and Lee played a show at Turkey Hill Brewing Company. These two people from New York were there. We had a beer with them and like hung out with them and did all these things with them. Lee goes home 2 days, 3 days later, and he's like, hey, man, I'm not feeling so well. He ended up having like some really terrible bronchitis. He got an x-ray. So when Andrew Cuomo, that guy that's the governor of New York, his brother got it, he put the picture up. So Lee photoshopped both pictures next to each other. And the guy from CNN had COVID, and Lee's x-ray was exactly the same. So Lee was sick. He's still feeling sick. I got sick. I ended up having like almost emergency surgery on my nose because I was having such trouble breathing. And I was having like weird allergic reactions. And the doctor was telling me to sit up at night when I was sleeping. I went to see a specialist on Monday, had surgery on Friday. Friday was May 7th March 7th or March 6th. And then we went into national lockdown the next day. So I got surgery. Then we were in national lockdown the next day. And I swear.
Lucky.
Yeah, and I swear I had it too. And I still can't. Yeah. And I notice it like when I do my live videos on Hobart. I'm like, I'm walking up the street to like, and like I run 5, 6, 8 miles a day. Like I try to keep in shape, and it's just like it doesn't matter. I can't breathe out of my nose anymore, and like I don't know. It's such a weird time. It is such a weird time to be alive.
And people, we get natural pollen allergies and stuff out here in Montana, and people they'll sneeze and cough all the time, and you're like, oh, is that like an actual flu or influenza or COVID or what the fuck's going on? But
As soon as somebody sneezes, everybody's just like,
Yeah.
"Whoa, what the fuck?" You know what I mean? Everybody's like, "Holy sh-" And I mean, I do
Now
it
it's-
too, but it's just we never did that before. You know what I mean? We
Nope.
never did that before, and now we're social distancing and wearing masks, so like we should probably be okay. But I mean, it's definitely not a hoax. I mean, I looked at.
No.
That stuff bothers me. So I did some research. So up until this date, it was like March 15th or May 15th. So I did from March 15th to May 15th, and I looked at how many people died in the United States last year and this year. And there's like 76,000 more people that died in that 2 month span. So something's killing people. So what's the coronavirus thing at 90,000? And there's a bunch of probables and so that sounds about like a pretty 76,000. So there's 76,000 extra dead people in that 2 month span. So there's definitely something killing people. But you know what I mean. But like you said, it's the average age is 79 in America.
Yeah.
That's what it is. So
it's older people that with incomparable immune systems. You know?
Which is still
and that's what you see when you see like people in the store with masks and stuff. You see the older people. You see people that are definitely, you can tell that they are concerned because they probably have an underlying condition. We had a couple of my girlfriend's coworkers. They got anything from, one girl was saying she had diabetes, so she was worried about that.
Yeah.
So she would wear a mask everywhere.
Yeah.
So.
I mean,
I don't. I still run up and down mountains, so I just.
Yeah,
it's gonna kill me, dude. It's gonna kill me.
I only wear masks where I'm required, but I'm not gonna be a dick about it and be like, I'm not gonna wear them. It's just like, hey, listen, if I go in and I happen to be sick and because I'm wearing a mask, it happens to protect somebody else, or even if it doesn't, it's not that big of a deal for me. I can wear it and stuff, but like you said, like I'm not going to wear one now. I'm not going to wear one in my car. I'm going to go to, you know what I mean? We can't do that. If I'm sick, I think the standard should be now, if you feel sick, you should wear a mask. If you're out in public.
If you know you're coughing and sneezing and you know you're like going to be putting that on people, I would definitely wear a mask. I have one of those actual nice respirator, like an N95 that I got from a friend and works at a university, and he gave me one. So
I'm lucky. I have one of those too with the little respirator on the front.
Yep. You just give it a little spray of alcohol every time I use it.
Yeah.
But most of the time, it just sits in the middle of my console in my car.
Yeah.
You can go out.
Yeah, I feel like I'm a million times safer now than I ever was. I mean, I used to be here picking my lip, twisting my hair, touching my beard, all that kind of stuff, and then
stop eating my nails.
Yeah, and then like now before I do that, then I was like, all right, hand sanitizer, okay, don't touch your face, all right, wear a mask. So, and also too, I think the big thing that should be pointed out is that people just need to start taking care of themselves better. If this isn't a reason to take better care of yourself. So it's killing people with diabetes that are obese, that are not taking care of themselves. And I know it's killing older people too, but those people have those conditions. So if we generally take an approach to take better care of ourselves, it's going to prevent a few deaths and everybody's going to be in better shape and everybody's going to eat better. So I feel like that should be stressed more than just like stay home and stay safe and wash your hands, because if not, everyone's gonna die. And it's like, no, that's not really what's happening. And everyone kind of gets stuck entrenched in one view where like, I'm not wearing a mask and screw everybody, to like, everyone's gonna die if you don't wear a mask. And it's like, it's kind of somewhere in between. Like,
you live in a weird place though. Pennsylvania is definitely like, it's changed, man.
Oh, it's
totally changed.
It's crazy. I mean, like right now, most of the people that follow me are conservative. I live in a conservative area. I do polls and just be like, do you like Biden or Trump or whatever? It's 2-1. It's 2-1 conservative, and then you have Philadelphia, which is extremely liberal, and Pittsburgh, which is pretty liberal, and it's just this mess of just everyone. And now with everybody it's nuts. It's nuts living here, man. It really, it's so different than it was 20 years ago. And there's
20 years ago. That's how long it's been.
Yeah.
I mean, I really haven't been back to smoking in 4 years. 3 years, 4 years.
I mean, really what happened, Choffel, is when we went to college, like in 2007 and 8, all the people in our generation that didn't go to college and all of our friends a lot of them ended up on drugs and a lot of them are dead. And like, that was just, I swear, like right around that time was the epidemic of opioids. And that just overtook this town and drugs on top of it. And now to the point where, I don't remember any of this, crime and stuff. And I start paying attention and listening to scanners and overdoses and all that kind of stuff now. But I mean, it is absurd the amount of stuff that goes on here, to the point where I'm like, you know what? I don't think I would walk down the street at night, like in certain areas in Shamokin anymore, where I had no fear of anything, my entire life, where I would think twice before going down the Fifth Ward. You know what I mean? Like, and like, it was just kind of a joke before, like, oh, the bloody Fifth, like, oh, whatever. And then like, 6 months ago, someone's at the G Lounge and someone just walks up to him on the stool and just stabs him. It's just like, okay, wow. Yeah, that, I don't know. That was probably, it might have been like 2 years ago, but yeah, somebody stabbed somebody at the G Lounge, and I go have beers there with my one buddy Brandon, like, and I'm thinking there, and I'm like, man, somebody got stabbed on this bar stool. Like, what is going on? You know what I mean? Like, that stuff didn't happen. You go outside and you'd beat the crap out of each other, and then you'd walk home. But now it's guns and knives and groups of 50 people fighting.
Oh, Jesus.
And all the old houses are burning down because like all the houses are old and the electrical's old, and like it's crazy. It's just like chaos here, And,
yeah, it's a dilapidated place, man. It's just falling apart.
Yeah, I mean, I live in a 1930s home. I mean, you know what I mean?
I can say it's corrupt politicians, honestly, because I know I've seen it happen. We've seen the downfall of just sellouts. Just they're relying on their own pockets sometimes.
I mean, really, what it comes down to is these. I can't talk of anybody specifically, but generally as a whole, as things start to get shitty, everyone says me. So government officials, like you said, they're going to say me. Like Governor Wolf is going to be like, hey, I'm going to keep my business open, but all your businesses are, you know what I mean? Like if it really comes down to it, I'm going to get paid and you're not. And that's what you see. So even in the lowest level of like the city of Shamokin, it's just like, hey, do we want to grant these people the use of the pool or the fireworks or this or that or whatever? Oh, well, it's not worth the risk, and, it's not worth this. And when it really comes down to it, as long as I'm getting my salary, I'm just going to punch and it's not for everybody and it's not every single person, but it's a general feeling like, shit, I got to protect my job, make sure that this budget exists next year so that I can get my $50,000 a year, because if the city of Shamokin goes bankrupt, I don't have a job. So yeah, I mean, it's a huge thing that I think is going along everywhere. Every form of government, from county to state to all the way up to Trump. You know what I mean? It's literally just, everybody for themselves.
Everyone's out for themselves. Yeah.
Dude. And that's gonna be how the world is gonna be perceived from now on. Like, we were tribes and gathering food and farming, thousands and thousands of years ago. And now we're like, hey, man, like, what's on Facebook, bro? Like, do you check Hobart News? Like, it's where everything is, I'm focused on my goals, doing my thing. I mean, we're all victim to it. My Facebook page, my phone, all that kind of stuff. And it's so much less about community. And this is going to dramatically increase that. Where I feel like, gatherings and all that kind of stuff, concerts, music, the stuff that I work in, I think is going to take the biggest hit of all. Art, all that kind of stuff. What's the first thing that gets sacrificed? Shamokin just shut down art and gym or something like that. They had some budget meeting, no art classes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's the first thing that gets hit.
Stuff like that.
Yeah. And then we become more industrial, more everybody's by themselves, everybody's sitting in their homes. I mean, all I freaking do, I go for runs all the time because I'm nuts, dude. I'm just in this room. I'm doing Hobart News. I mean, I was working at WKOK for a while, and they said, well, you either do Hobart News or WKOK. And I was like, yeah, okay, no, all right. So, I mean, I'm just doing this, and the festivals are on hold. So, like, I'm just sitting in my room, like, lifting weights and then, like, going for, like, just to keep from going stir crazy. And it's just like, this is how life is going to be for a really long time. I mean, it's not going to be this extreme, but people are just going to be a little bit more afraid to go out and just make that extra step and decision. Well, I'm going to stay home tonight. And we're living in that It's just
Are you
like,
saving money?
um, I unfortunately, well, I'm doing. Yeah, we had money saved from Threestival. Like we did well enough that we had money saved, and then I basically live off the donations I get from Hobart News. But I mean, I would say compared to the average person, how they're doing in this pandemic, I was kind of prepared for something like this, so I'm okay. But like, the bills are still coming in. I still have a car payment. I still have rent. I
Mm-hmm.
still have like all that stuff. So like, I'm doing okay. But in 2-3 months, you know, I could be in a
Maybe,
yeah,
maybe
yeah.
not.
Because I don't know. Like, can I have my event in August with 200 people and maybe break even, or make $1,000 or like make $2,000 that I can have an event, or are we just gonna
Yeah,
be able to break even, or are we not gonna be able to event at all? Like, I don't know. We have a bunch of festivals scheduled to play as well, and they're all everything's canceled. So I really don't know, man.
damn.
It's just we were doing. I mean, we had 7 consecutive sellouts, so we were doing really well. And we're not sitting here thinking. I mean, the Spring Threestival is our biggest event of the year, so we just canceled that. So we just canceled our biggest. So like
Yeah,
it's. I guess what I'm saying is, considering all of that, I'm doing okay. But it's not like I'm just sitting on like 15 G's right now. It's just like,
yeah, yeah. Well,
I got money to pay my bills for a couple of months, and I gotta hope that I keep building this brand with Hobart News and doing everything and like trying to like, because all I do is sit in my room and listen to the scanner and do news all day because there's nothing else to do, and there's
yeah,
nobody in Shamokin that covers it because WKOK is just like AM radio, and it takes 5 hours for them to come out, and News Item is printing newspapers, and I don't know, that takes, you know what I mean? So people hear the sirens in Shamokin and they're like, what is going on? So I'm just
yeah.
trying
People are
to,
bored and they want something to do.
yeah. And I mean, the information that's coming out now about COVID and reopening and this and that, it's important, so it's just like, this is what I'm going to do.
I like to read it. It keeps me looking back at home. I like what you're doing.
Yeah.
I've watched a lot of your live videos, and that's like, dude, I know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's
like,
the
I'm
that's
right there
the
with
fun
you,
stuff.
but it feels weird.
Yeah, that Centralia video was pretty crazy. That ended up going into Forbes magazine, and it was on CNN, and like has like 440,000 views. Like, that was ridiculous. That's when WKOK basically said to me, "Oh yeah, thanks. Good job, like telling us about this. Like whatever." And they were like, "Yeah, you need to pick one or the other." And I was like, "Yeah, the $10 to $11."
I wonder if you could do like a YouTube stream, get yourself noticed a little more.
I mean, I'm doing this podcast and stuff. Like, I'm uploading. Like, I just did one literally before I called you. I did one with Mars Dairy, the owner of Mars Dairy, and I did one with like a radio legend. And I'm doing the podcast on YouTube. The only problem with going live on YouTube is if you don't have the subscribers, no one's going to pay attention. So until I get 1,000 subscribers, there doesn't make any sense for me to go live on YouTube. But when I get to that point, I might start doing my live events, like when there's a fire or something, and then that's on the YouTube channel, and you have to subscribe to that and then go over there. But right now, I only have 37 subscribers, so it's kind of like, if there's a fire in Shamokin, am I gonna be like, hey, watch the fire in Shamokin, subscribe to YouTube? It's the transition. But you're right. Facebook is great to get started, but then once you get started, they don't pay you for anything. I didn't get anything for
a platform, man. You gotta take a platform.
Yeah, I mean, Centralia,
like Twitch or
YouTube 400,000 views. I didn't see a penny from Facebook. Only the money I made off of donations from people, which people are very honestly. I have to say, I'd like to thank everybody. I mean, whoever donates. We have seriously I think we have close to 100 donors since we started, individuals, and I'm pretty sure you're one of them. Pretty sure that yeah, and it's just ridiculous.
420.
Yeah. From I've had people donate $1, and I've had people donate like hundreds of dollars. So it's just like it's crazy, and like everywhere in between, it's just like it has helped me. Dumb things like I've got unlimited data on my phone now, and like I pay for that. I have YouTube Premium now, and like that's just like two things, basically two small things, but things where I have gas in my tank, oil changes ready to go. Now I go cover the protests in Harrisburg because I have that ability to do stuff. So hopefully it'll keep growing. And what I'm really hoping for is being able to like merge with like a real company, like some real legit independent news source that I could kind of like start working for and like bring, you know what I mean, something that's going to bring in, because I do actually work for, it's called North Central PA, and they're an independent news, and they have about 50,000 followers. But it's a small amount of money per week. It's not going to pay.
Yeah.
It's just basically for them to their algorithms, when something's close to my area, automatically posts on my page, and that's pretty much all it is, which is awesome because it gives me a bunch of more material to put onto my thing. But I'm just looking for either to keep adding to that, or just getting like some little. I just need like a little bit more, But I'm always like that. But I just need a little bit more, and then I feel like I would be.
You need a recorder. I mean, a microphone and a video recorder. Yeah. Just going out and interviewing people.
Oh, I mean, I have a good microphone, and well, I would only have my phone, but I know, just to go and like interview like
random people.
Yeah,
and just be smart about it. Ask like the most ridiculous questions about stuff and let them rant.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And
I always
be like, all right.
I always felt like I could just interview that Dutch Smith kid and just not even say anything and just be like, all right, go. And just it would get 1 million views, because it's just like, all I would have to do is be like, Dutch Smith, tell us about meeting your attorney at Dunkin' Donuts. And you know what I mean? And then it would just be like, it would just.
It's so.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what whole button. Like, some people get mad when I post like funny shit. Somebody's like, the other day, they're like, oh my God, quit posting about Dunkin' Donuts. It's like, you do know that the Hobart News started because people were fighting in a Turkey Hill parking lot, and I took film of it, and a girl's boob ended up falling out, and like that was the viral video that started Hobart News. Like, so it started as a joke. And some people are just like, you need to be like more serious, and it's like, I post serious stuff, but I'm also wearing a fucking pirate hat. And like, you know what I mean? Like riding the Knoebels roller coaster in the cover photo, like, dude, relax. You know what I mean? It's like, this isn't news. This is a picture of a rock. It's like, bro, like, just relax.
Some people are just trained to Fox News. If you're not giving them Fox News where they can be worried, they won't get it. They won't get it.
Yeah. It's just. Whatever, and then and that's the other thing. I'll post something from Fox News, and they'll be like, "Don't post this Republican garbage." And then I post something from NBC, and somebody's like, "Dude, this liberal crap is unbelievable." And I'm just like, guys, it's your job to go in and read the bias. Obviously, everything is biased at this point. It's your job to go in. I'm just like, I like to share articles in like when Fox News reports something, and when MSNBC reports it. I like to share both of them, so you could be like, okay, here's liberal bias and Republican bias, and read them both, and then find the information from the two of them, and then you'll get a general sense where it's like, one's like, Trump taking the unproven hydroxychloroquine after it was unproven, and he says to reporters, screw you, and that's the MSNBC, and then Fox News is like, Trump explains why he takes hydroxychloroquine. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And then if it's, something about Joe Biden, then Fox News is jumping down his throat. And then MSNBC is like, Biden's okay, I guess, And it's just like, you guys got to see that. And like, that's the whole purpose. I can't write these articles because I don't have access to this information. So like, here's, 10 different sources. I try to pull my national news from 25 different sources, like every source that exists, because, everything
I try not to pay attention to it.
Yeah.
Unless it comes up on my phone as something dangerous.
Yeah. Honestly, I feel that way too. I've definitely shared less. I used to share more national stuff. I try to keep it less because all it is just getting people to come out of the woodworks to just like comment negative shit.
You should search. You should do some like searches for like random cities and like crazy unique headlines for around the world.
Yeah, I try to do that. It's tough. I just sit on my phone and try to find like interesting. Reddit is I love Reddit. Reddit's a great outlet to find.
So like Yellowstone Park just opened 3 days ago. I think 3 days ago, and a lady already got like knocked over by a bison.
Oh man, send me that article. I'll totally share that.
Yeah.
If you ever come, because I just have Lee. Like I just have Lee. He just sends me stuff. And he's smarter than me. So like he looks at stuff. He'll fact check it. He sends me stuff. So I post stuff that people send me all the time. So if you find something funny, just like send it to me.
Oh, yeah.
Like, did you see
it was like a week ago, some lady illegally entered the park when it was closed and fell into a geyser.
Nice.
So we're only like 3 days into the season and already had 2 injuries.
So a bison and a geyser. Yeah, definitely send me those. I like the unique stuff. I like the funny stuff. Because, like, I don't want to keep posting about COVID. Like, because if you want to go anywhere, you can find that stuff. And, I mean, you know, when Governor Wolf says he's reopening counties or he's doing whatever, like, yeah, I'm going to post that. But I try to limit, you know, the amount of COVID posts because, you know, some people are getting sick of it, you know. So, there was one the other day. South Korea had a baseball game, and they put sex dolls in the stands. And it's just like, dude, how could you ever think that that's going to go okay for you? And, like, it was just funny. So, like, I love that article. I shared the shit out of that, man. So, yeah, so if you have... if you see anything funny, definitely send it my way.
Oh, I'll send them all back.
Yeah. What's Hobart News should be in Montana? Was there cops going? What are you watching? Cops? What's going on in the back?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude.
Got the
cops on the TV, bro.
Oh my god, that's so funny. I was just thinking to myself. What the hell's going on? You got fucking cops like outside your door, or like what's they screaming by? Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, that's how I keep everybody calm in the house.
Yeah, keeps everybody in line. All right, brother.